So, Ching, this is my simple banquet dish.
Okay.
It's going to be lamb cutlets, marinated in barley miso, and served with a sesame green bean.
Like you, I'm also doing a marinade because, of course, for banqueting, pays to sort of get ahead.
Yes.
So I've got here some pork spare ribs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to marinate it and then I'm going to fry it. So it'll be tender, I hope. But before that, we've got a few Chinese tricks in order. Like you, I'm using a little bit more ingredient, but fusion-style ingredient. I hope you don't mind.
I spotted miso in there. I thought, that's cheeky, but a Japanese miso.
I know. I do love miso. This one that I'm using is red miso, okay? It has a more sort of intense hit in terms of savoury and umami than the white miso.
It's really yeasty, isn't it? Quite powerful.
It's really powerful and I love it.
Miso is a paste made from fermented soya beans and adds a rich, savoury flavour to marinades and soups. It can be found in all Asian food stores. Ching adds light soy sauce to her marinade for saltiness and a little dark soy sauce for colour, and then 2 tablespoons of mirin.
Any reason why you're leaning towards the Japanese ingredients, for example, the mirin, as opposed to perhaps a Chinese rice wine?
Oh, I thought, for this one I'd be a little bit more different and vary it,
Sure.
I knew you were in the house, so I had to up my game.
Mirin is Japanese rice wine and can be found in most supermarkets. Ching then adds rice vinegar for sharpness and honey for sweetness.
Also, when this hits the oil, it's going to help caramelise. And then, couldn't be easier. Ribs all in. Marinade for as long as you have.
So
even 1 hour is fine.
Could you marinate that overnight?
You could marinate that overnight, yeah, absolutely. It'll sort of intensify the flavour.
With Ching's ribs marinating, Nic makes a start on his simple banquet dish. He begins by removing the excess fat from his lamb rack and then divides into individual cutlets.
I'm just going to put them up on the edge like this because, again, I want to keep the marinade off that bone.
You want to keep that clean?
Yeah, so it stays nice and clean and just dries up and cooks.
Wonderful.
Nic makes a start on his marinade. He roughly chops shallot and coriander and adds to a food processor. He briefly blitzes to break down further.
Now, the fun part is ginger juice.
Okay.
And nice piece of ginger, a nice coarse grater. So we're just going to scoop it up. The good thing about this...
Why do you just want the juice?
I don't want the fibre. I just want that boost of flavour. We'll just go like so. Look at all that. That's just pure flavour going in. So ginger juice goes in. Some barley miso.
Okay.
Barley miso has that same yeasty flavour, but it's got, to me, one, I like the texture of the barley coming through it.
Nic prefers to use barley miso, but you could use any variety you like.
And I'm going to add the mirin for a similar component to you. It brings the sugar into it.
Great.
About 3 tablespoons of mirin.
So if you didn't have mirin, what would you suggest instead?
Ideally, I would say I would look into the fridge and find that unopened bottle of white wine you have tucked away in there, and perhaps add that and a little bit of caster sugar to go in.
I see.
So here we have it, got the beautiful... Imagine all the flavour there, the barley miso, the coriander, the ginger juice.
Nic generously coats the lamb with his marinade.
So here we have my lamb cutlets with barley miso. So they need to sit for an hour longer if you've got it.
OK, great.
Both chefs have decided to use a marinade for their simple dishes to really pack in the flavour. Will the judges prefer Nic's miso lamb cutlets or Ching's spicy fried ribs?